is Mac Wanda, and I'm keeping it 100 with Zola Roaster and Maisha Pooh.
Hey.
Yeah.
There we go.
The ugliest bitch.
God damn it. Hey man, listen. We are in the building right now, man, with I'm gonna say Bay Area royalty. You know, Hospital Takeover presents another episode of Keeping It 100 with Zola Roaster.
And Maisha Pooh. Yeah, see, I was so caught up
in the moment, huh?
I forgot who I was.
Most definitely. Most definitely.
do.
And we're here today with the legendary, like I said, Bay Area royalty, Mrs. Mac Wanda. How you doing?
Yes.
In the building with Zola Roaster and Maisha Pooh.
Yes.
Most definitely.
Yes.
Most definitely.
Yes.
I had been wanting to get an interview with you, but without me speaking with you personally, I had heard from the grapevine that you really didn't like doing interviews. You know what I'm saying? And then I went online and I only could really find one interview, you know, when you did the interview with Sway. You know, which was a great interview. Shout out Sway, you know what I'm saying?
Sway.
Hometown hero of ours. So just for a quick question, why is it that you don't like doing interviews?
So I think you and I had a conversation. I think I was in Rome or somewhere, and you called me
Right.
to talk. And I think I said to you then, you asked me about an interview, and I said, I'm still kind of like mourning, grieving, kind of. And when I talk about Mac Dre, I'm still sad. You know,
Right.
I'm still sad. But I realize, too, that I have a responsibility and an accountability to him.
Right.
So that's why I'm doing this interview.
Most definitely. And we,
That's
and
why
we
I'm doing
most
this
definitely
interview.
appreciate
We're
it.
honored to be
No doubt about
the
it.
second.
And then too,
Yeah.
Zoe, it's because I love you. I mean,
Hello.
Yeah.
That's a
I'm doing
beautiful
this for you.
thing.
I'm doing it for you.
That makes me feel good.
And Maisha. I'm
That's
doing it
what's
for you.
up.
I'm doing it for you.
And for the culture.
And for the
Because
culture.
Yes,
Without
yes.
culture.
without
Yeah.
hearing your voice about certain things, then we don't really get the understanding of who Mac Dre was, where he came from. But there was one thing that I want to do that I want the people to understand. Let's get to know Mac Wanda.
Right, exactly.
Let's
'Cause
get to know.
I can't speak for Mac Dre.
Exactly.
I can only speak on behalf of him and what I know that he would be thinking or saying based on me raising him.
Right.
You know,
So getting to know Mac Wanda, where was Mac Wanda born?
I was born in Oakland.
Oakland, California.
Oakland, California, Oakland Naval Hospital. My dad was in the Navy. He was stationed in Oakland. I was born in Oakland.
What
No
part
doubt
of
about
Oakland?
That's a good
East,
question. That
west.
was so long ago. I have
Yeah.
no idea.
So long
Yeah.
ago, and people wouldn't believe
So long ago.
how Mac. Let's just say this right now. Mac Dre would be 52.
52.
52.
Okay, so
52.
and you are his biological mother,
Yeah, and I'm 52.
and he came about that what?
What year? When he came out that?
He hopped out that puss. 1970. Mac Dre hopped out that puss.
How about that put?
This puss.
Oh my God!
This puss.
So I say you must
Yeah.
have had him when you was 12.
And you are absolutely gorgeous.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
No,
Thank
I'm
you.
talking about like taboo. It's like black don't crack.
No, when I tell you
You the
this,
true definition of that.
listen, she don't
Yeah.
have one wrinkle on her. Her hands look good.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Her body look good. Like I would have never guessed she had a 52-year-old child.
Hey, look at her out there.
Ain't no
That's a
signs
beautiful-
of what is the regimen?
You know, I just live life, enjoy,
Right,
try not to stress too much, drink
Right.
a lot of water, eat the right foods.
right,
But it's all mental for
Right.
me. To me, it's all mental, and I gauge it. And when I feel like I'm getting like off kilter or it's too much, I know how to hibernate. I know how to
Right.
catch flights. I know how to go.
Yes.
I know where to go.
So growing up, being born in Oakland, and then growing up, what were the things that you went through in your life that that basically molded you into being the person who you are now? Tell us a couple stories about things that you know that helped you become the individual you are today.
So I come from a family of 5 siblings.
Okay.
I'm the oldest. So you know the oldest is always the one that's responsible, the one that has to take care of everybody else.
Right.
My parents worked. My mother, at some point, her and my dad divorced. My mother was on her own, but I was the oldest. She worked, so I had to take care of siblings. I mean, it was just responsibility from day one, you know, out the gate. So with that, you know, I just grew up being responsible. It's just, you know, I could see things, took care of things, knew what needed to be taken care of, when and where, how. It was just in me. When I got pregnant with Andre, you know, my firstborn, even then, you know, in the 70s, getting pregnant, 17, it was hard on my mother. But even then, you know, I felt the responsibility to take care of my child, not leave my child with my mother or anybody else. It was just something that in me that I knew I needed to do.
So you had Dre when you were 17. Mm-hmm. So doing the math, you're 69.
Okay, so really?
No, we keep it at 100.
I understand that, but I can say, okay, really?
You sure can. Most definitely. But look, I had to get that out because I'm like, you know, that's inspiring to people. We probably gonna come back to it a couple times, man.
Yeah.
But you know,
that's
that's amazing. But
Wanda look good.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Yes. And adversity. Any adversity in your life?
Mm-hmm. Well, you know the saying, what is it? If it doesn't kill you, it makes you stronger.
That's right.
Yeah.
If it didn't kill me, so now I'm like,
most definitely. I can attest to that. I can attest to that because I've had several conversations with you, and I always walked away learning something. You know what I mean? And I'm a hard-headed motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? So.
And I encounter a lot of hard heads.
Yeah.
You know.
But I could tell the way you're stern about the decisions you make about certain things. You ask a lot of questions.
That's me. I do.
I know.
I was trained to do that.
Yeah.
So a lot of people don't know, though, my background, you know, I went to work right away because I knew I had a son, I had to raise him, and I knew how I wanted him to be raised. I don't know why, but I knew where I was going. But I ended up working for a bank for 40 years. And that training right there helped me, guided me, raised me to, again, be accountable and be responsible.
That's right.
And to read and to listen and to ask questions. So a lot of people say I don't talk a lot. It's because I listen a lot and I ask a lot of questions.
Well, you got 2 ears and 1 mouth. So that you listen more than you speak.
I learn a lot from listening.
Yeah, me too.
I learn a lot from listening.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people talk, because you know, a lot of times I'm online and I'm listening. It's like people talk so fucking much. Listen.
Yeah.
You learn more and get more by listening.
And you're more useful. You're more useful. It's like
because then you know where to apply it. You know where to apply what you've learned from listening.
Well, I learned when you do listen, when it is your time to talk, you know what you're talking about.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So that's very respectable. But like I said though, I always left, you know, with a profound respect of, you know, your position on whatever it was that we spoke about.
Well, you know what? I thank you for that feedback.
Yeah.
Thank you, because that's my purpose.
No doubt
That's
about
my
it.
purpose, to listen, teach, share, so we can all grow.
Right.
Because that's what it's all about. We all grow, you know?
So at 17, after having Dre, his father was in your life for how long?
Probably for that night.
That was
That night?
keep it 100 then. You know what I'm saying?
I was 17. I was 16.
So after that, like he wasn't nowhere around after that, like.
His family was. I mean, you know, and I don't like talking.
But he was young too.
Exactly. We were 16.
Yeah, so you guys were children.
Exactly. And back then, you know, you hit it and quit it. And, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, most definitely.
Going on about your life.
Because you wasn't supposed to be hitting it anyway.
Exactly. So it's not like today where you tell everybody, you brag, oh, I hit such. No, it wasn't like that.
Yeah. And so now in the process of raising Dre, as a 17-year-old young lady, you took upon a hell of a responsibility. You know what I mean? And me knowing Dre personally, I think you did a great job as far as raising a young stand-up guy. You know what I mean? Because that's really what he was, though.
Right.
He was a stand-up guy. Not only was he talented, but he was a real nigga. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's what we say in the street, though. You know what I'm saying? Oh, that's a real nigga, though. You know what I'm saying? Just a quick story. I met Dre in Oakland. They used to book him to come to Jeffries down there. And I met him and I was like, man, I seen him, I said, that's a weird motherfucker. He had the big glasses on and shit like that, though. And people was like, man, no, that's Dre, man, from Vallejo, man, that's what we want. And then, you know what I'm saying, J Diggs was with him, you know what I'm saying, Kilo. Everybody, they used to come deep, though, you know what I mean? And then I ended up going introducing myself and getting to know the guy. But let him know I rapped. So he asked me to rap one time. And I forgot what rap I said, but he was impressed. You know what I mean? And every time after that he called me, after they got to know me, he called me when he came to Oakland.
Really?
Yeah, most definitely. This one we wasn't taking pictures.
So like what time period was that? The 90s?
This was when you know, I'm bad on years.
Yeah, so am I.
Yeah, I'm bad because I've been to prison so many times. So yeah, I'm bad on years. So I know it was when he started wearing that fur hat. Yeah, so he's always had that hat on.
Late 90s.
Yeah, I think
early
Jeffrey was probably in the 90s.
J Diggs' braids was right here.
Like the mid 90s.
Yeah.
Like 95.
Yeah.
95 to 99.
Yeah, so somewhere up in there, but it was cool though, you know what I'm saying? But and I say, damn, we never took no pictures. Me, I'm gonna tell you like this here. I was on some other shit. So I didn't want no pictures like back in the day. It wasn't social media and all that though. So we didn't take the pictures and do all that though.
Let everybody know everything you do.
And I wish I would have, because I would have some some memories of me and the guy together though. But Kilo and everybody will tell you they was there. You know what I'm saying? I had love and respect for him.
I found out that you and Andre had a connection
Most
and
definitely.
a relationship back in the day, and
yeah, no doubt about it.
So people that have stories and relationships with my son, that touches me.
Yeah.
So when I learned and found out your relationship with Andre, most definitely I was going to do the interview.
Most definitely. And you know, before that though, like you took me in, and you know, we, like I said, we've had several conversations. And
and I've reached out to you for guidance.
And
you've helped me, and set up situations where we could sit down and talk to people that that I needed to talk to, but didn't feel so comfortable on my own to do it. I reached out to you, and you answered the call, and you were there.
Most definitely.
And you were objective. You listened, and you did your thing.
Most definitely. I kept it real.
You kept it real?
Yeah, I don't know how to do nothing else.
You did. You kept it real, and I appreciate that.
Yeah, no doubt about it. So, yeah. But just piggybacking on you raising Dre is where we, you know what I'm saying, where we was at that moment. What was the hardest thing about raising Dre?
I would say the hardest thing was when he started to become a young man and he wanted to try out and spread his own wings. And it surprised me when he took the direction he did, getting in trouble. Just keeping it 100. That just threw me for a loop, because up to that point I was raising him to go to school, go to college. I had a path for him.
Right.
But then somewhere in there between 16, 17, he decided to do what he wanted to do.
Right.
And so that threw me. That was the hardest time. So I'm saying maybe between 16 and 20, 21, 22 was probably the toughest time. And that was the time when he was hanging out. That's when pizza parlor robberies and snatching chains and selling.
Did he end up going to juvenile hall?
Yeah, he went to juvenile hall, and we had to go visit him in juvenile hall, bring him food and everything, and bring him snacks, and because he was still Andre, but in juvenile hall he was Mac Dre.
Right.
So that was another thing to have to deal with two personalities. You know, there was Andre, and then there was Mac Dre.
And he had an affinity for girls.
Yeah. Yeah, he did.
You know,
He
I mean,
did.
me hearing stories. I didn't know
He
him
did.
back then, but
He
me
did.
hearing stories though, he had a lot
did.
of chicks. You know
He
what I'm
did.
saying? And this is one of the reasons why he called himself Mac Dre.
Yeah. Yeah, I met a lot of young ladies.
Yeah.
I met a lot
definitely.
of young ladies.
He was a player,
a
baby.
lot of young ladies were at my house.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
You said we. Was it you and your mom? that
No.
Visit him?
No, no, because when he was 14, 15, 16, I was married. I got married.
Okay.
And a lot of people want to know why my last name is Salvato. That was my husband. That was Andre's stepfather. So his stepfather and I and his younger brother, Richard, and I would visit him. So Andre had, you know, a family of people that supported him. But when he got to a certain age and a certain curiosity, he branched out. We were living in Marin, and he started going to Vallejo and going to the Crest and made friends. And even we moved to Vallejo, and I think at some point, you know, they were busing kids from North Vallejo to East Vallejo where we were, and he made friends with people from the Crest that came to the school that he was at. And he was attracted to them.
To the people from the Crest.
For the people from the
Marin is
Crest.
predominantly white, right?
Yes, but Andre was attracted to the people from the Crest. And, you know, and I have to say, when I was his age, I was attracted to the people from the Crest.
Right.
You know, I mean, because that's where the black people were.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah.
Vallejo was segregated. The majority of the people that were black, that looked like us, were in the Crest. And so that's where we went.
No doubt about
That's
it.
where we went. That's where we made friends.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah, what they call that street in the Crest? Man, I never knew what they was talking about. Country Club.
Country Club, yeah.
Yeah, I was like,
Yeah.
I was like, man, they got a country club in the Crest.
Yeah. I mean, when I
It
was
was
a
a
teenager, that's where I went. We used to hitchhike to the Crest, you know,
Straight up.
to look for boyfriends and stuff.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
you really couldn't blame him.
No, I couldn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't.
Yeah, 9 times out of 10, we're attracted to things that feel like us.
Right, no
that
matter
look
where you
like
at.
us.
You could be living in Marin where it's all white, but still be attracted to your own people, the people that look like you.
No doubt
And that's
about
what we
it.
did. And that's what he did. And they had it going on in the Crest. It was popping in the Crest. And so that's where we went.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's, for me, I mean, that's where the boys were. For
Yeah.
him, that's
where
the
the girls
boys
were.
That no, because
They're
I think that's
partners.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And he had
Buddies.
some real dedicated friends.
He made yes.
Yeah, he made
did.
some
And he
really-
used to bring them home. So they would come from the Crest and come to my house in East Vallejo.
Right.
And so I got to know them when they were younger. I think I look at pictures way back in the day when Andre first started rapping, and you know, I was taking pictures with him and the friends he made in the Crest. I got pictures way back. I was still hanging with him and them.
Right.
So you was that mom that was the cool mom where the friends could come hang out at the house?
Not really. They would come, but they knew they had to come with respect. And when
Right.
they came, it was a certain way.
You
And
was,
even
you was
then,
the mother.
yes,
Not the friend.
yeah. No, I
Right.
didn't do what they did with them and all that. No, it wasn't like that. It was, you know,
listening to his music and him embodying this character, Mac Dre. What did you think on the offset? Like in the beginning, what did you think? Like, what is he doing?
You know, it wasn't really because I was working a lot. I worked a lot. So while I was at work, Andre was doing his thing. He was doing this. This was all being developed in the Crest while I was working. I was so focused on my career, my job, and paying bills and doing what I needed to do. And the same thing with my husband going to work. Andre was doing this. And most of it we didn't even know. I did not know. We did not really know until we went to that famous talent show at Hogan High School.
Right.
That's when it really hit home. That's when we really knew. Because yeah, he was doing all that in the garage and everything, and he was going to the Crest and he was doing his thing. But that was just all part of growing up to me. That was
Did
just,
he
that
ever
was his
come say,
hobby.
"Mom, listen to this"?
Oh yeah, he did.
Yeah.
He did. Yeah, he did. But I still didn't. The impact that it has today, it still didn't register.
When he came and said, "Mom, listen to this," did you like it?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
I did. I always did like it. See, that's the
Okay.
thing. I always did like it. But I still didn't think that everybody else was going to like it. I'm his mother, and of course I like it.
Yeah.
But I really, really liked it.
Did you encourage him to go in another field? Or
Oh yeah, I go to college. Yeah. All that and all that stuff. No,
He
go
had
to
no
school.
idea what he was doing.
Go to school.
Yeah.
But then
He
when
knew what he was doing, though.
But see, that's the thing. He knew what he was doing.
Yeah.
He knew what he was doing, and I kind of trusted that he knew what he was doing. So I let him do his thing.
Sometimes we have to let him climb.
Yeah, I you know,
Like
there was
my
something.
kids get on the cabinets and they be climbing and doing all time. But see, I didn't know that my daughter was an acrobat. She climbed like she was 2 years old, climbing on top of the refrigerator.
Right.
Now she does
Acrobats.
Is she an acrobat? She's
Yeah.
an acrobat.
But you know, in my mind, I kind of he was smart. I knew he was smart, and I knew he knew what he was doing. But I didn't necessarily agree with it.
Right.
But I still didn't. I didn't stop him.
Right.
I mean, I liked the music.
Yeah.
So I was
You
into
still
it.
showed him support.
Yeah, I was into it. And when I went to that first talent show and saw that, that's when, you know, it was like, okay,
Yeah.
he's good.
He got something going.
Yeah, he's got something going. He's good, and
Yeah.
people like it. Besides me, other people, they like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he got into some things that were just above and beyond the Call of Duty.
Right.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I'm gonna say that he were dealing with the people who got into some things, but
Right.
as far as the bank
Right.
robberies,
Right.
because
Yeah.
there was
Those-
never any evidence that Dre was involved
Right.
in a bank robbery.
Right. Because
You
if
know
there
what
was
I'm
some
saying?
evidence, they would have found it. They would have locked
Right.
him up.
And at the time, I remember somebody telling me a story. You were working for a bank.
I was
And
working
the
at
bank-
one of the banks that got robbed
Exactly.
by
and
the.
Dre didn't have nothing to do with it,
Mm-hmm.
but one of his associates was the one who called it, and Dre ended up knocking him out.
Oh, see, I didn't.
You didn't know that story?
No, I didn't know that. Because I do
Yeah.
know that when it happened, when we got robbed, they came in there. They scared the shit out of all of us. I mean,
Right.
it was just like, whoever it was came in there like monsters. And you know, and I'll never forget that. They came in there, they took, and see, the thing about it is these are friends of mine that I work with. We were a team. And when they came in there and they did that, and the way they did it, it was so monstrous that it just, we'll never forget it. So the people that did it need to know that it's imprinted. It became part of who we are now.
Right.
So they touch lives.
Right.
So, you know, I froze and everything, and it got to a point where when I took a break, the first thing I did was call Andre.
Yeah.
You know, because eventually at some point the FBI came in and showed pictures of people,
Right.
and it was people that I knew, Andre's friends, and you know, I had to like, I don't even know why I didn't faint. on the spot. But I
heard you were cussing Dre out.
I called him.
Yeah.
On my break. I couldn't wait for my break. I was watching I just counting the minutes down, and as soon as I got in my car, I called him, crying and screaming and yelling. Did you do this? And what the fuck? Blah 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 blah.
Right.
But I knew in his voice, I just knew that he didn't,
Right.
and he was so sorry.
Right.
But your friends did it. It's your people. They, so.
Yeah.
Is he some of the friends that came to your house?
Well, to this day, I don't really know actually who, because nobody's going to let me know that. They still protect that. Nobody's going
Right.
to ever let me know. But see, the problem with that is because, and I don't really need to know, but because of that, I'm suspicious of everybody.
Yeah.
Right.
So when people think that I don't like them or act funny or she's this or she's that, it's because you might have been one of the ones.
Right.
Something that's
That scared the shit out of me.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you had no regard. You had reckless.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Guns going off.
Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, I don't know if they knew or not that I was in that bank when they did that, but they had guns. They pointed them. And what if something had gone wrong and I got killed?
Right.
Now, what a story that would have been. Mac Dre's mother got killed in the bank that his homies robbed.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah. So during the time that he was incarcerated for a bank robbery that he had nothing to do with, what was your life like?
Well, it was bad. It was rough because, first of all, going through the bank robberies, and every time they hit the news, the first name they printed always was Mac Dre.
And the romper room gang.
And the romper room gang. And Mac
Right.
Dre was the head of the romper room gang.
Right.
So it just wasn't nice.
Right.
It was bad. And then going to court, and then him getting sentenced, and then me having to visit him in Lompoc and for 5 years and all that. It was rough. It was probably the worst time of my life.
Did you lose your job?
No. Luckily, no, because people I worked for knew me. As a matter of fact, they had my back and protected me. And I remember one of my bosses, my manager, said, "Did you rob a bank?" "No, I didn't." "So do
Keep
your
on
job and go on
moving.
about your life." Yeah.
Yeah. So finally, when Dre was released, it felt like you was released also.
Exactly.
Yeah, I know.
Exactly.
My mama
So
told
I
me
remember
that
when
one time.
I remember he because my plan was to go pick him up, but he had other plans. You don't need to come pick me up. Just provide this, and this.
Yeah.
The fila, this, that, and whatever, and I did.
dress out and-
But somebody else picked him up.
Yeah.
And so I guess some girls or whoever picked him up. And
It
he
was
did.
Mac Dre.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Nothing stopped him. Nothing
He
changed.
come see his mama.
Yes, as a matter of fact, we had a party, and I still have pictures of that when he got home. We had a little get together. But yeah, it was. The thing about it is, the 5 years though, I was going every week, every other week, or whatever, and we were talking about the future. And a lot of it, I understood when he got out what his purpose was, because we
Right.
talked about business, we talked about the rap business, we talked about Mac Dre and what he was going to do and how he changed his style and what he had learned. And one of the things he said, as a matter of fact, I think somebody posted an article where he said he learned in there what he rapped about was not just about the Crest, Vallejo, or California. He learned that he needed to rap globally.
That's right.
Globally. So a lot of
Yeah.
times people still like the Crest, this is for us, this is for us, or Vallejo, this is for us, California, no, it was global. He was going global at
Yeah.
that point.
Yeah,
And I understood that.
Industry music.
He understood the business at that point. He learned the business.
And when he got out, he was full-fledged.
He was full-fledged. We had a complete business plan.
Most definitely.
We had a complete
Most definitely.
business plan.
And the world felt it. And today, the world feels it. You know what I mean?
So he had a complete business plan. He knew what he needed to do. He knew what he was going to do. And he started doing it. And he started just putting out albums and putting out songs, just bang, 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 putting them out. And every time he would write one or do one, Ma, you gotta listen to this. And I would listen, I'd be like, yeah. But yeah, he came out with a plan. So like right now for me, and although, you know, it's been what, 18 years? It's been 18 years. I understood that plan.
Right.
Although it took me a while, I have to continue to execute that plan.
And that's what's respectable. You being ahead of his state, you take care of business. Yeah, you take care
When
of
it comes to
business.
this, I'm not playing.
Yeah. Oh, I know.
People think I am, and people test all the time, but
Well, silly them.
But what they don't understand is I may not be saying a whole lot, but you won't be able to cross this bridge again.
Right. Straight up.
You when you make those sneaky moves, and when you make those moves that you're stealing, you're taking advantage. And when I say take advantage, you're taking advantage of me, his mother, and his daughter.
Right.
And you don't acknowledge that, or you give us no respect, or no, like what's his name said, put some respect on my name.
Right. Birdman.
Put some respect on my name. And when you don't, and when you take his songs, and you take his moves and his styles and stuff, and you redo them, and you think I'm not watching or I don't see, I do. You won't be able to come across this bridge again.
Right. You burnt that bridge.
You burnt that bridge.
Yeah.
You burnt that bridge.
And as a mother, your life has been encompassed with Mac Dre. How do you find yourself, Mac
Good
Wanda?
question. That's a good question. Because I ask myself that question all the time.
Right.
Who would I be
Right.
without Mac Dre and without all of this?
That's right.
Who would I be? But you know what? I'm almost at the point where I'm starting to say, this is who you be. This is you.
Right. Yeah.
This is who I am.
Yeah, and there's no reason for me to even think like that because
Exactly. I'm
Yeah.
getting to that point because I question what would life be like without it, and who would I be without it? But the bottom line is, it's me. It's
and that's actually a brilliant move to understanding. It's understanding because
it
guess
took a long
what?
time.
Guess what? Why would I even fathom who would I be
Right.
without
This is who
I
you
am?
are.
This is who you are.
You brought
Yeah.
this to the world. You
Yeah.
created this. You created this. I created this.
So you have another son.
I have another son, Richard.
So how does you feel?
So for family, it's hard. It's really hard because Andre was the kind of person, his love was just infectious. Everybody, he was so good to everybody, and his personality, everybody has a story about Andre. And rarely do you hear anything negative, printed, in social media, anywhere. Andre just had a way of making you feel special, you feel special. He had that way. That was his gift that he had. And he made his brother feel special. He made everybody feel special. And I get these stories all the time that what Andre, he might have done something like buy you a shirt when you needed it, or buy you some water or whatever, you know. He had a way of connecting, taking the time out and listening to what you might have had to say, or you might have wanted to rap or whatever. He would take the time out to listen. He would look at, like when girls were going crazy, you Mac motherfucking Dre, he'd be looking at them like, but he gave them attention. Another one that listened. He listened.
Right.
He listened, and he learned from listening.
Yeah. It's an amazing story. And do you realize that you are royalty?
No.
You don't understand it?
Well, I don't really stop to think about that. I have a mission, and I'm just accomplishing my mission. I don't stop to think who's looking, who's watching, who's calling me this or that, whatever.
But see, royalty is basically a hierarchy. You feel me? Like I call myself a king. People call themselves queen. as royalty. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's a hierarchy. We have to be answered to. No, that's the truth. That's the truth. And if we don't let people understand that, they'll try to misuse us. You feel what I'm saying? And what I like to do is, I like to.
Well, I'm not going to go around saying I'm royalty.
You don't have to say it.
Well,
You don't have to say it.
I
But
think your acting, so how you said earlier, I'm watching, and you can't
Oh,
cross this bridge, so that's
Yeah.
letting them know right here.
yeah, but I'm
like,
talking
you
about
can't play
saying
with
it.
me.
Saying
I'm royalty.
it with your actions is much more important than saying it with your mouth. Saying it with your actions, you act like royalty. You know what I mean? My brother asked me. He say, "So, what you gonna talk to her about?" I say, "Man, whatever we talk about, she's royalty. She's Bay Area's royalty. You know what I'm saying? And that's how we gonna treat her. You know." And we had a conversation about who Wanda was, and that's how I see you, Wanda, and that's how a lot of people see you. You know what I mean?
Well, it
And
must
some
be.
people-
It must be about something I'm saying or doing.
Well, it's hard for some people to
Maisha,
approach
maybe
royalty.
you. Oh, okay. Because you said that to me. Because we had a conversation about that.
We seem not approachable. Like, people are afraid to say something to me. They'll call somebody else and say, then they got my number. Hey man, could you ask Zoe? When they could have did it themselves.
I
You
don't
know
know
what I
that
mean?
people can't, because my number is pretty much public, and I've had the same number for 50
And so
years.
they'll call someone else to get to you because
But see, that's bullshit.
royalty.
That's bullshit.
Yeah,
I'm just
but-
gonna tell you, because people, they know how to get a hold of me. They know how to get a hold of me. They know how to get a hold of me. Some people just don't get a hold of me, and they know they should. They'll call
You
other
have people
people.
like that.
They'll call other people
Yeah.
because they already know what I'm gonna say. That's why they don't. Because they already
Trying to
know what I'm gonna
soften the
say.
blow.
They're gonna go through other people that they think might get to me to give them the answer they want,
Right.
because they know if they call me directly, I'm gonna have a conversation with them. Does this make sense?
Right.
How does this help me or Mac Dre or his daughter?
Yeah.
And they can't answer those questions.
And that's what royalty does.
I'm gonna ask some questions.
Yeah, most definitely. That's
I'm
what
gonna ask questions.
The royalty is
so
thorough.
my number is public, but you call me though, I'm gonna ask questions.
Right. Yeah, and that's what royalty does. So, you know what I mean?
So if that's royalty, hey,
And there we go. Pop your collar
Yes.
in. You did.
if that's royalty, because
Yeah,
I'm gonna
man.
ask the questions, and if you can't answer them,
You feel me?
I feel you.
And I think it's the love and respect that people have for you. It's the level. It's so many different levels of love, so many different levels of respect, and you're held at the highest. People, maybe those that don't call you directly, maybe it's out of intimidation.
Could be.
Not everybody,
Could be.
but some.
Could be.
I
I admit it could be.
Yeah,
'Cause
Well, we were
you know.
at the Mac Dre day, right? And I talked to you about this. There was 1,000 people on stage,
Yeah,
and
Yeah.
there were big security guards out there
yeah.
that couldn't get nobody off the stage. Here come little Mac Wanda, right? Not saying little as little, but I'm saying in your stature,
Yeah.
you cleared the stage.
I didn't clear it completely.
No, I watched it. I watched
From
it.
that-
I'm
from
sitting
that-
there. I'm sitting there watching. I'm like, man, well, who is that out there? They was like, man, Mac Wanda tripping.
Yeah, I could hear when I'm sitting in the audience, and when I'm walking up, because I'm looking at the show, because I like the show. I like to watch all the rappers, and I like to watch everybody that's in the lineup. I mean, we choose them for a reason.
Right.
Most of the time, it's because I like them.
Right.
So I'm watching the show, and it gets to a point where, like, I think it was The Boy was on. The
Yeah.
Boy, S.O.B. The Boy, and I wanted to see him. I came to my show to see him.
Right.
He had no room to perform.
Right.
None. The stage was like
Yeah.
packed.
Like everybody had.
He
a verse
couldn't
on
move.
his
He was
song.
like, I couldn't even tell who had the microphone.
Right.
And so I had to like really look, and then I said to myself, let me go down here.
You moved the crowd.
Let me go down here
Yeah, royalty only do that.
Yeah,
Right.
and I walked down and I could hear people, oh my God, here she comes.
That's the
There we go.
respect. That's
Here
that
she
respect.
comes, all the way down to the state. Here she comes. Here she comes. What you want me to do? It's too late. What you were supposed to do, you didn't do, so now
Right.
I got to do it.
Right.
So listen, in closing this interview out, which I think was a great interview, very informative, you know what I'm saying? And what would you like the people to know about Mac Wanda?
And can you give us a fun fact about Dre that nobody knows?
Okay, so the first question, what I want people to know about me.
Right.
So people need to know right now, I have a very positive spirit.
Right.
I love everybody. There's no hate, none whatsoever. Even if I get on you, it's out of love that there's no hate. It is because I need to do what I need to do. And you might be in the way, or you might not be, but I'm going to let you know that I'm trying to get here.
Right.
And if you're in the way and you're stopping me, or you're causing me too much time and money, I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you. But it's all out of love because I'm on a mission. I'm only going to be here for so much time on this earth, and I got to accomplish what I need to accomplish before I go.
Right.
So that's Mac Wanda.
Straight up.
And then and I love my son. I love my son. And people have to understand, don't tell me, because a lot of people want to tell me what Mac Dre would have done. And Mac Dre would be rolling in his grave because I did this or I did that. People have to understand I'm his mother. He's not here anymore. I'm responsible for this. So it's not about what he might like or not like. It's not about that anymore. He's not here anymore. People need to accept that the way I've accepted it.
Right.
I'm going to do it my way. And you might not like my way. You might not like the headliners that I put on the show. Or you might not like what endorsements I do. Or what products I come out with or endorse. Or co-own with. You may not like it because you think Mac Dre might not have liked it, but it's not about that anymore. He's gone. He's been gone almost 20 years. It's about his mother's vision now for his legacy and his estate.
Straight up.
So that's what it's about. So I need to really get that clear with people because I get a lot of pushback about things I do. I hear you, but it's not going to stop me from doing what I need to do. And then a fun fact. Okay, this is a fun fact. This is something that we talk about all the time as a family, something we laugh about. So when Andre first did his 5 years and he came home to my house. And you know, he was Mac Dre. I'm Mac Dre. I'm player Mac Dre, whatever. Okay, so he's in my house. And some days, months, weeks went by. He started bringing home his lady friends, female friends or whatever, and right. I was okay with it to a point. And then it got to a point where it just got completely out of control. It's like, okay, it got blurred lines between whose house this was. So I addressed it with him, and his comment to me was, one of us is gonna have to bounce. He said, one of us is gonna have to bounce.
He forgot.
And you know, it was a serious conversation, but I had to laugh. Because it really, one of us is gonna have to bounce.
He forgot it was your house. he was so
one of us is gonna have to bounce.
Right, he was Mac Dre.
He
was Mac Dre.
He thought he let you move in. That is funny.
He was dead serious too.
Hey, but listen, thank you for that.
Yes.
And listen, we love you, we
Yes.
respect you,
Yes.
we hold you in high authority, continue to be who you are, you know what I mean? And we're gonna pay it forward.
Keep the legacy
We're gonna pay
alive.
it forward.
Well, I
You know.
appreciate you, Zoe. Maisha, I appreciate you. Thanks for the invite.
Thank you.
And like I said, it's positivity, it's love everywhere, you guys, because hate doesn't pay. So
Right.
there's none here.
Right.
I may be firm, but I'm fair. And I love.
No doubt about it. And listen, there you guys have it. There you guys have it. I missed the camera. I was just in a daze right now. There you guys have it. From our Bay Area royalty, Mac Dre's mother, Mac Wanda. You heard it from her, man. So listen, make sure that you guys go, continue to support, like, share, and make sure that you keep it 100. You dig what I'm saying?
Because I did.
Yeah, no doubt about it. She told you Mac Dre came right up out of puss.
He hopped out.
Hopped out like this.
Exactly. He hopped out.
Dig?
Hopped out buttered.
We salute. Hey, make sure you tap into the really dope cookie. Oh yeah, this brother right here though, he get down with these cookies, really dope.
Oh God, that's my weakness. Cookies.
This your weakness? Here, this your weakness?
Thank you. Thank you.
You gonna love them. You know, I gotta get them away from me too. I'm on a diet. I'm trying to get my body good for the summer. My wife thinks she the only one gonna be the only one in two pieces.
Gonna be big.
And we out. One love.